Hey, welcome to Half the Battle. Now, as I mentioned on Twitter and Facebook this week, there really hasn't been time to work on a script because I've been extremely busy. So, this week things are gonna be a little different. Instead of a review, I'm simply gonna show you my collection. Enjoy, everybody! Let's take a look inside and see what we can find. Unsurprisingly, we're finding toys. One side of the room is dedicated to action figures. Um, Quite a few action figures, I should say. While the other side of the room is dedicated to vehicles. And, more action figures. Yeah, originally I was planning to having just that section for vehicles, but then, you get more toys, you have to put them somewhere, and here we are. By the way, I don't actually expect anybody to listen to what I'm saying, you're all pausing the video to see what you can make out. Nevertheless, let me give you the tour. The first top shelf we're looking at has a variety of army builders, including, for some reason, lots of Cobra Commanders. I really don't know why I started doing that, but, well, here we are. Directly below, there's a shelf with some more unique pieces. For example, there's the entire original G.I. Joe lineup, well, the good guys anyway, as well as some pretty rare stuff from Europe. And there's even a custom there of Duke, since I always prefer to make my own version of the character. You'll be seeing a couple of my Frankenstein figures thrown in here and there. I like to put 'em with the rest. Below those, hey, guess what? Toys that aren't G.I. Joe. Yeah, I occasionally pick up toys from other toy lines if I think they look cool. You can see Skeletor in there, Darth Vader, even some Thundercats. And like I said, I'm sure there are some of you out there right now who are pausing the tape to see what they can identify. But we have to move on. Below those are battle android troopers, and lots of them from different versions. There's also some desert scorpions and night vipers there, and for some reason Slaughter's marauders round the shelf out. Not sure what I was thinking there. The next shelf is a bit more eclectic. There's some random G.I. Joe figures there, and also a lot of European exclusive stuff, and Mortal Kombat figures. Next to them are most of the ninjas from G.I. Joe. And we round everything out with Storm Shadow. Well, Storm Shadows. Okay, basically every single Storm Shadow I could ever find at a flea market. This is why I'm making a video and not taking pictures, because pictures can said to be photoshopped. Next are some G.I. Joe army builders, including the Steel Brigade. Lots and lots of Steel Brigade, standing next to some Cobra Vipers from somewhere in the 2000s. And next to them, a whole bunch of Shockwaves. Yeah, I have lots of those because they can be used as army builders too, since they're all wearing a mask. Next row of shelves start with army builders. You've got alley vipers and incinerators. Look at that lovely color orange, as well as frag vipers and cobra lampreys. Up next is what was supposed to be Cobra Commander's throne room, but I got so many figures that I had no choice but to also start filling up that shelf. Indulge yourself with the freeze framing again. Below we come to one of my favorite shelves. It's the Crimson Army. Lots of Crimson Guards, Crimson Guard commanders, and other assorted red figures. And yep, most of those Crimson Guards are the original ones. Up next, it's another shelf of army builders. And if you'll note, with the exception of the Rock Vipers, most of them are actually not from the original line. They all came out later, but that doesn't mean that they don't deserve a place in my collection. Most of them are actually pretty neat. Then we have even more army builders. Are you starting to see a pattern here? We've got Televipers, reissued Cobra Troopers, and of course we've got the Techno Vipers. Lots and lots of Techno Vipers. I always thought they were pretty cool. The next shelf is shared by a bunch of Dreadnoks that I all just put in one place, and some neat army builders. like again reissued Cobra Troopers and the Python Patrol. And yet more army builders, including Copperhead for some reason. That's the last shelf in this row. Army builders and crap. Yeah, the rest of the figures are mostly Cobras that I'm not that fond of, because of the color schemes or the goofy looks. And I really only have them because I'm a completist. And to review them, of course. Oh, their time will come. And up next, to bring no variety whatsoever, we've got more army builders, like Heat Vipers, Toxo Vipers, and there's even Astro Vipers there. Well, we've seen G.I. Joe and Cobra army builders, so now it's time for Destro's army builders. You've got the Iron Grenadiers, you've got the Targets, and you've got the lovely and orange Annihilators. Up next, we've got another one of my favorite shelves, with Vipers. Lots and lots of Vipers, and also original Cobra Troopers. And all of the Vipers and most of the Cobra Troopers you're seeing are actually the original versions. I really like this little set. The next shelf are basically all custom figures. Most of them are just body part swaps, but there are a few there that I actually painted. It's a pretty nice side hobby to the main hobby of collecting. The last two shelves are simply miscellaneous. They're all G.I. Joe, not Cobra, but they're all jumbled together. There's no real rhyme or reason to why they're in those positions. Doesn't make it easier when I actually have to review things, since I spend a lot of time actually searching for the figures I need to review. And there's nothing that special about any of the figures on these last two shelves. They're just, well, there if I need them, I suppose. This concludes part 1. That's right, I'm not showing you my entire collection in one video. It'll be nice to keep this in the back pocket for when the time comes when there's another week that I simply don't have any time to make a real review. So, until next week, see you later, everybody.